Hi guys, it has officially been a year since my rhinoplasty. A lot of you guys have watched that video and it feels like a lifetime ago. Honestly, it really does. It's actually been a bit over a year, but let's just say it's been a year for the video. I got my rhinoplasty done March 27th. 2000 and are we in 2025 2024 I guess. Oh my god, that's so crazy. And I have a bunch of stuff that I want to kind of go over with you guys and talk about all the things that I've experienced. The average waiting time to kind of see how your nose looks like is a year. So it's not just like an arbitrary number. A lot of surgeons say like if you're not happy with your nose, you should probably wait about a year until you figure out if you want a redo on it. Apparently it falls into place after a year. So I'm gonna go over some stuff that I've experienced over this 1 year. I've held out on a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to overthinking things, because I've always been like, okay, well, it hasn't been a year yet. Let me tell you the things that I have discovered over this 1 year. The first thing that I want to say is this was actually kind of concerning for me. I'm also very like, I feel like I would not contact my surgeon about anything unless it's like super urgent. But like with minor things, I'm not really the type of person that would like go back and message them and be like, oh my god, why is this happening, blah blah blah. Like obviously unless it's super concerning, but I'm not really like the kind of person to like really reach out and like, and I know that's kind of like maybe I should be, but there was a sharp pain in this top left corner of my nose for literally so long, and it would just like come up and then it would stop. This persisted for about like 8-9 months. Like it's been a while since I've had like a super sharp pain like right here, but that happened for a really long time and it was kind of freaking me out. I haven't had it in a while, but like I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of sporadically happens. I don't know if this is common or not, but this other girl that I'm friends with also told me that she experiences the same thing. So maybe it is a thing. It's been a year. It's been a couple months since this kind of hasn't really happened much anymore. So I think we're in the clear, maybe. Anyway, something I have noticed is my nose has been getting really runny. Like, I don't know, like the receptors of like my boogers, I guess, like don't like hold it in place as much. I don't know if this makes sense, but like my nose just kind of like will start running, and I've never really dealt with that before my rhinoplasty. I could like definitely just like feel it runny if it was before, but like now I just kind of like don't really notice. Like sometimes it'll just like start running a little bit, and it just happens a bit more too. I don't know if again that's normal, that's just my experience. Oh, this is a good one. There was a while there where my laugh was very different than what it initially was. I'm happy to say that my laugh has gone back to normal. Like, guys, after getting out of surgery, I think like after the 2nd or 3rd month, when I laughed, I would like snort sometimes, and I hated that. And that's never happened. Like pre-rhinoplasty, that was never an issue for me. Like I've never been like a snorty laugher. But after my rhinoplasty, like 3 months after, when I laughed really hard, it used like I would snort. Anyway, that's kind of gone away, but that kind of like scared me a lot because I genuinely thought that was something I was gonna have to live with for the rest of my life. I'm so happy to say that it is definitely gone and it's not something I deal with anymore. I continued breathing out of my mouth for quite a bit after my rhinoplasty, and I don't know what this was due to. Maybe it was the fact that, you know, my nose was super swollen and I feel like my airways were trapped a little bit in my nose. So that could definitely be part of it. The other part of that could have possibly been the fact that for that 1 week that I was recovering, I was only allowed breathing out of my mouth, obviously, because your nose is like all blocked up and everything. So I think it kind of mentally trained my mind to just naturally breathe through my mouth. And it was a bit difficult for me to switch from mouth breathing to like back to nose breathing. I do still wake up with a puffy nose sometimes, so that aspect hasn't changed all that much. Obviously, it's not as puffy as when I first got my rhinoplasty, but sometimes I'll wake up from a nap and my nose is just kind of really puffy. Sometimes when I'm in an airplane, my nose gets really puffy depending on the altitude. That still remains to be true to this day. Dropping tip. Okay, this is weird because I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos, and this girl was saying how she's really scared because her tip is very like uplifted, and she's like worried that it's not gonna fall down, all this stuff. So my tip did drop, but it didn't drop as much as I thought it would have. I remember coming out of my surgery, like taking my cast off and thinking, I don't want my tip to drop anymore. Like my nose is at the most perfect like tip level it could possibly be. I was very happy with it, and I know that they're supposed to like overreach for that level because apparently your tip will drop. My tip has dropped just slightly. It's not as lifted as it was when I first came out of the surgery, like when I first took off my cast. However, and I don't want to scare you, this might just be me. I don't think your tip drops that significantly. Like it will slightly, and I think like with slight changes like that, it's obviously very noticeable. But after the first like 2-3 months, my tip has been the same level, I think, in my opinion, since after the 3rd month of my rhinoplasty. That's just my opinion. I don't want to freak you out if you do feel like your tip is way too high. I feel like it drops the most in the first couple months, but then like after my 4th or 5th month, like my tip didn't drop any more than it already had. So that's just my comment on the issue. Oh, the other thing is I can't really feel my nose still. Like I know there's a common concept of everyone saying like, oh, you'll start feeling your nerve endings like after a year, like you should get all your senses back. I don't have all my senses back. I still like, I can feel the tip of my nose, but it's not how my old nose would have sensed like physical touch. Which I don't really like care about. But it is something to know, like not all your nerve endings, I don't think, come back to the exact same degree that it used to be. Last thing that I'm gonna say is that this part of my nose right here, the bone feels like not smooth and it's ridgy. You can't see any sort of bumps, but when you touch it, it definitely feels like a broken cartilage. I don't know if you've ever had like your cartilage pierced and then if it like heals or whatever, and then you feel kind of like pieces of your cartilage just sort of chilling and they're like broken. That's kind of how it feels, and I was really nervous about that part when I first noticed it, which was early on in my recovery. I noticed that it felt bumpy over here, and I was like, oh my gosh, like my nose is gonna like not be as swollen anymore. It's gonna go down in puffiness, and then there's gonna be a bump right there. But it has not happened, and I don't think it will at this point. I'm hopeful that it's just kind of gonna remain the same, but you definitely, I don't know, you can feel bumpiness here, which is maybe a little bit concerning to some. All in all, I don't regret my surgery. I think it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Truly. I would go back and do it all over again. The pain, 100% worth it. The mental breakdowns, 100% worth it. I feel like this is like how I'm supposed to look like. And I have seen videos and photos of me of my old self, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is not who I am. Like that is not like who I should look like. I don't know, like I'm just so used to my new nose, and although it's not 100% perfect, I think this idea of like perfection should just be thrown out the window when it comes to rhinoplasty, because it really rarely ever is. And all I asked for was it to like fit my face better than my old nose, and I am so satisfied with the fact that I do feel like it does fit my face a lot better than my old nose ever did. And my side profile, I'm so confident with my side profile. Like, any side anyone looks at me, I'm like, yes, I don't care. It feels so naturally me, and I'm really happy I asked for like the most natural results I could possibly get, because there are some people I see on social media or like other YouTubers that claim their noses are very natural, even though I still feel like it's still a little bit too Barbie doll like for me and for my liking. So I feel like my surgeon just did such an amazing job fulfilling my needs when it comes to a very natural looking nose. Once again, I will say his name is Dr. Samil Sahin, and he's from Turkey, Istanbul. You guys can watch my previous videos on my rhinoplasty. I kind of like tried to update you guys as much as I possibly could, and I vlogged the whole entire thing if you haven't seen it. And yeah, I love you all so much. This was a quick update. I do have a Pilates class to get to, and my ring light also broke, so I had to use the natural light of the sun to film this video, and the sun's going down a little bit right now. So I will see you guys in the next video.